This is the beginning of day 2 of our ride for the Circling the Frank. Today we'll be doing the Nez Perce Trail and the Magruder Corridor.
Good morning. It's day 2 of our ride and we are getting up and getting everything packed back up. We are still at Falls Flat Campground. And last night when we got here, there was something, we don't know what it was. There was an explosion or something because there was a fire on the other side of the trees over here. Let's turn it over here where you can see up in the trees. Up there, coming over that mountain right there. Well, after that, we had the big smoke and everything. So we went ahead and got in the tent. That was a whole nother story, I'll explain that. But then during the night, we were rained on. We have ash everywhere this morning. So we're trying to let chairs dry off so we can get everything dusted off. And our tents, we got them standing up, aimed towards the sun so that our cots in the tent, so once all the ash and the dew dry, we can then get everything dusted off and put up. Let me show you this. Ash on everything. Side by side. Hard to see it on the side of it, but up front here, everything is covered in ash. So are we. Our clothes, the clothes we have on. So we're making some coffee, or cheating. We're using cold brew from Starbucks. He said he still wish he had a little bit of milk, but anyway. So we're getting everything picked up and then we will head out. And our trail has us going to Burnt Knob Fire Lookout this morning. So we are thinking that's in the same direction as the fire last night, or whatever it was last night. So we will do some investigating and find out what it was, and we'll let you know. Oh, and I did put another little rock here at this campground too. This one is by the campfire. Can you see it? Oh, but you can see it.
After we left our campground, then we're going up to the Montana-Idaho Pass, which is the Nez Perce Trail and the beginning of the Magruder Corridor as well. This was used originally by the Indians, and this is where we're actually starting the Circling the Frank, because we're actually coming up on the Frank Church Wilderness, and we'll be going along the northern border of it at this point in time.
We are at the Magruder Ranger Station. So we just looking around a little bit. There's a sign-in sheet. Dale and I have signed in. And we're just looking around. It's beautiful here. You can hear the water.
This is where we ran into some guys at the Magruder Station that told us about Paradise Valley and just told us it was a very pretty ride to take. So we made a little 10 mile detour just to go ride up this valley and follow the river on up to see what it was like, and it was absolutely gorgeous. You can see the river coming in here now, and it's off to the left. And we followed that all the way up for the next 10 miles. Coming down into where the river was a little slower, and it looked like a great place to go swimming, but we did not stop to swim. And this is where we saw one of the very few deer or wildlife in general on the entire trip. There was not a lot of wildlife to be had on the trip. Again, this is looking up the valley going into Paradise Valley. Now we just pulled into the site where they have the memorial, I guess is what you would call it, for the Magruder massacre. Lloyd Magruder and his party were murdered and robbed in October 1863 on the Nez Perce Trail. A popular route in the gold rush days, the trail linked Lewiston, Idaho with Virginia City, Montana. It is located on the main ridge across the draw. The massacre site is on the ridge 3 miles directly northeast of here. Walking distance is 5.5 miles by trail. This is where we were riding and discovering a lot of smoke. Unbeknownst to us, there was the Elkhorn fire had started previously. We didn't even notice it. We were more concerned about the Hayden fire when we left. That's why we went counterclockwise instead of going clockwise on this whole trip. But on this section of it, we were getting ready to go to the Burnt Knob Lookout, and the smoke just kept getting thicker and thicker. And here we are just looking into the valley off in the distance, and that is the direction we're going, is where all that smoke was. And the further we're running along this ridge, the more we're seeing the real thick smoke. And you'll see that in some of the videos coming up. Well, we've had a little change of plans. Due to the immense smoke we're seeing, we started to go up Burnt Knob Lookout. It just kept getting worse and worse. So we decided to just turn around, and we're going to try and run out of this smoke and get to Elk City. So we'll talk back at you in a bit.
All right, here's the smoke. GPS shows we still have 8 miles to get down to the Elk City Ranger Station.
The video just does not do this justice as far as the amount of smoke that we encountered on here. It was just really, really thick, and we were rolling hard to get out. And then the next thing we know, we ran into a forest ranger, and he was the one that indicated that, you know, don't go into there. But here's where Elk City, where we came into it. A little restaurant there is a fuel stop, and like I say, a nice little restaurant as well. And there is a general store and a little campsite just on the other side of town. This is where we ended up camping. We were 3 miles outside of town, had our nice little private stream there where we set up camp for the night. Nice cool night. So we just kind of did a little cleaning up around camp and got everything set up. And as I say, you can look out there, it's just really, really pretty campsite. And again, about 3 miles outside of Elk City. This spot we stopped at, of all things, the VFW, had a nice burger for dinner, burger and fries, nice cold beverage as well. And the locals there at the VFW told us about this little campsite, said it was gorgeous. So this is where we spent the night, and stay tuned, day 3 is coming up.